Wash my hands. Hi, Hannah.
Hey.
My name is Fong. I'll be your physical therapist today. Today we're just going to check the integrity of your ACL. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So your ACL is just a ligament that attaches from your thigh bone to your shin bone. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to have you lay on your back. I'm just going to bend your knee about 90 degrees and place my hands behind your calf muscle. Okay? So now I'm going to just apply an anterior force of pulling your leg towards me. The test is positive if there's any excessive laxity. We're going to test your multifidus. Your multifidus is your back muscle that helps with stability and posture. So we're going to start by having you go in a quadruped position, which is just your hands and your knees. Good. So before we start, I want to help you find pelvic neutral. So I want you to tuck your hips under, and then I want you to lower your back. Arch your back. So find a position that's comfortable in between those two extremes by just tightening your core and straightening your back as much as you can. Good?
Okay. Yep.
So I want you to keep this position throughout the exercise. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So first, I want you to bring your right arm forward and up. Good. Now your left. Great. So now I want you to kick your leg back one at a time, making sure your hips are straight as possible while keeping this pelvic neutral. Good. So now I want you to do opposite arm and then opposite leg. Okay? Go slow if you can. Great. So the multifidus test is just going to check for any instability or weakness. We're going to do a neural tension test, specifically the straight leg raise. So I'm going to have you raise your leg up to 70 degrees. Let me know if you feel any pain.
No pain.
No pain? So if this test was positive, you would have felt pain between 35 degrees and 70 degrees. The symptoms would be below the knee, and that could be indicative of a lateral disc herniation. If you felt pain in your back, that could mean a possible central disc prolapse. So this test can be made more sensitive by dorsiflexing your foot, adducting your leg or bringing your leg towards the middle, and raising your head up towards me. Okay, so today we are going to do the inversion stress test. This test is to check for the integrity of the ATFL. To start, I'm just gonna test your non-involved side by inverting and then plantar flexing, or just dropping your toes, pointing your toes towards me. Good. So now I'm just going to test your involved side by doing the same thing. Inverting and then plantar flexing. So the test is positive if I feel any excessive laxity or if you feel any pain or symptoms. So now we're going to look at the foot posture index. The foot posture index is a clinical tool used to quantify the degree to which a foot is pronated or supinated. So it looks at 6 categories, scoring each from -2 to +2. -2 being overly supinated, and +2 being pronated. So we are going to start by having you relax as much as you can and having your foot straight. So now we're going to look at the talus head, palpating it. So if it's more palpable on the lateral side, I would score that a -2. If it's more palpable on the medial side, it'll be a +2. And feeling yours, I would say it's pretty even, so I would score it a 0. So now we are going to look at the talar navicular joint. If it's more concave, that would be more on the negative side. If it's bulging out, that would be positive. So looking at yours, I would say it's relatively flat. I'll score it a 0. Now looking inside of the foot, we're gonna look at the arch. If it was a high arch, it would be more negative. If it was flat, it would be positive. So scoring yours, I would say it would be a -1. Just gonna have you turn around. So now we're gonna look at the calcaneus inversion and eversion. If it was inverted to about more than 5 degrees, it would be negative. If it was everted to more about 5 degrees, it would be positive. If it's relatively straight or perpendicular, it would be 0. And looking at yours, I would score it a 0. So now we are going to look at the curve above and below the malleolus, the lateral malleolus. If the bottom curve is more convex or curves down, we can score it more negative. If the bottom curve is more concave, we can score it positive. But if it's equal on top, the curve is equal on top of the lateral malleolus compared to the bottom, we can score it close to neutral or 0. And looking at yours, I would say it's relatively straight, so I would score it 0. So our last test, we're going to go and look at what is called the too many toes sign. We're going to look behind the heel to see if we can see any toe visible. If more toes are presented on the lateral side than it is on the medial side, then we can score it more positive. If more toes are presented on the medial side, it can be more negative. So if it's equal, we can score it close to 0. And looking at your foot, I would score it close to neutral. So a 0 again. So your overall score, I would say, would be a -1. Slightly supinated or minimally supinated.